Where do I even begin in this video? I mean, I can't even think of an intro or something. Because there's one thing in my mind right now, and it's to introduce Arizona properly and make sure that I don't get depressed while doing this. So let's get started. Well, here I am, presenting to you a ship that everyone knows, Arizona. So let's talk about our history first. Arizona is an American battleship of the Pennsylvania class that was built in the mid-1910s and named in honor of the 48 states' recent admission into the Union. Commissioned in 1916, she remained stateside during the First World War. Shortly after the war ended, Arizona was one of a number of American ships that briefly escorted President Woodrow Wilson to the Paris Peace Conference. She was in the Greco-Turkish War to represent America. Then several years later she was transferred to the Pacific Fleet and remained there for the rest of her career. She stayed in California for a little bit. In 1940, she and the rest of the Pacific Fleet were transferred from California to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, as deterrent to Japanese imperialism. Now, this is the part where I talk about what happened to her in Pearl Harbor during 1941. Well, it goes like this. Japan was planning to conquer the Southeast Asian nation, but the nations there were surrounded by waters, and water means naval battles which the Japanese could not win. So they decided to take down their naval force in the Hawaiian base, hoping that they won't fight back. So it happens. In December 1941 they surprised attack Pearl Harbor, destroying some of their warships including Arizona. A Japanese aircraft bomber dropped a bomb right on her forward magazine which caused an explosion that tore her apart and causing her to sink. 1,177 of her crew died and only 335 survived, which she referenced on her lines. You can visit her in the Arizona Memorial in Pearl Harbor, where the wreck of the ship still remains to this day, and that was her history. It's a tragic story to cover, but I managed to do it. And a little side note, Arizona is also one of the famous ships in history, alongside Bismarck and Titanic. But in the game she is underrated. So, let's go to her in-game version. Arizona is an elite ship that you can get in the early stages of the game by just map drop, construction, or medal exchange, so it makes her kinda common. But for me it's different, not just because of her history, but how I struggled to get her. All of my grinding time was wasted on her, and not on the foxes. I even wasted my 350 cubes just to get her, but in the end I got her, wanting to protect her. Moving on, she's a good battleship to use in the early stages of the game, but I don't know if you still use her in late game, and I rarely encounter her in PvP because of her firepower and reload stats had some issues. Anyway, her performance in the early stages of the game are good with the equipment used for damage dealing, but she's not good in taking down enemy planes. So bring some anti-airships if you're going to use her, because Arizona only needs a clear sky with no enemy aircrafts. I should also mention her one and only perk, Eagle's Tears. I know this is also another reference to her, but I'm trying to keep myself together from breaking down in tears. Anyway, this perk gives you 50% chance to heal your entire vanguard for 10% of its maximum HP when she's firing a salvo. It's a really useful skill and very helpful, especially when your vanguard loses half of their HP. Protecting everyone, because that's what she really wants. Now, we move to the part where we help her protect everyone, and also focus on her reload and firepower if you want to activate her skill. For the main gun, take the twin 381mm advanced main gun. This will improve her firepower, but if you don't have it, taking the triple 406mm tier 3 main gun is a good alternative. Next, for the secondary gun, I equip the twin 128mm dual gun, SKC/41. Then for the anti-air, the twin 113mm AA gun. And finally the auxiliary, I use the SG radar for less ambush, and the Type 91 piercing shell, if you wanted to use her for damage dealing. But if you want her for a healing support, then taking the high standard fire control radar to reduce her cooldown, because like I said she has some issues with her reload stat. But if you also lack the high standard, just take 2 autoloaders will be fine, and you're ready to go. Some final words. Arizona is a good battleship that never got a chance to prove herself in battle because of her faith, but giving her a chance in the game will surely make her happy and helps her overcome the haunting past. So, be sure to cherish her and make her feel like she truly belongs to your fleet to make her nightmares go away. Well, that's all I'm gonna say. I hope that you too cherish her, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. This has been your friendly robot voice, signing off.